Good morning. It is May, 7th? Doesn't seem right. Okay, I think so. There we go. And this is Gentle Yoga with Sarah Little. I'm glad you can make it to join me today. We're going to be working back bends again, but with thinking about the spine as, good morning, as a place to work from, right? Back bends back. The spine seems like a good place to work from. So we're going to be thinking about spinal integration, which is this idea of bringing the spine more fully into the center of the body as we're moving. And so we're going to do some gentle movement first. Well, all of it will be gentle movement, but we're going to do some gentle flowing movement. And then we're going to stop and think about how to move the spine a little bit more inside as we go into those back bends, which requires that we have some of that strength that we built yesterday in the core to pull things together as we're thinking about moving back in space. So let's grab, I don't have my towels with me today, and I don't have my people with me today. They have other things going. So it's you and I, my friends, you and I. So I'm going to use my blankets, but you can use towels as well, okay? And I just want to get a little bit of opening into the upper back space. So I'm going to check my visual here. This is right. I folded it in half lengthwise, and I'm going to fold it in half again. And I have it's about 2 inches of lift that I've got going on. And I'm going to place that down across my mat space here. And then set up so that the spine that the upper back is being lifted, and that the lower edge of the shoulder blades is on the blanket, and the heads of the shoulders are dropping down. The reality of the matter is that a lot of the times when we get here, the chin then is jutting up towards the ceiling. So this is your moment to grab something else to slide behind your head. So if you have an additional towel or an additional blanket and you want to use that for your head, those two things are good. So go ahead and come into this space. Let your shoulders really fall through. So we're in cactus arms here, or you can send your arms out into a T. And we want to let the heads of the shoulders drop through. And go ahead and wrap, like we do when we're in bridge pose, wrap those shoulder blades onto your back. So you're getting this nice lift in the chest. And then we'll close the eyes and take a few breaths. So work to slow down your breath. And just listen for any sounds that are happening in your space. You can hear the kids opening and closing doors. I've got the birds twittering outside my window. Just notice what is in your space right now. And with each sound you hear, notice if it's pulling you towards a sense of lightness, like the birds twittering. It's like, oh, that's right, it's spring. There's all this business of birds that happens right now. The kid noises are, a little different for me. See if you can use your environmental noises to help you draw yourself deeper into your body. So first we hear the noise, and then we experience the sensation, the body sensation that goes with that. And then see if that is the body sensation you're interested in, right? So if you're hearing a squawking kid, but they're not really your responsibility, giving yourself permission to not be in charge of that child. It's very much like when we're at the club and we can hear the kids in the racquetball courts. And we can all take a sigh of relief that they are not our responsibility for this next period of time. Go ahead and bring your hands towards your heart space and just rest your palms on your chest. Feel the flutter of your heart underneath your hands. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. And notice where you want your practice to take you. And oftentimes, in order to get where we want our practice to take us, we have to commit to it. We have to continue to breathe in and out. We have to continue to stay focused in this direction. And I know particularly with distance classes that it's harder. When I'm in a room with people, it's easier for me to stay focused because I've got that accountability. But when I am all by myself, and even if it's my favorite teachers talking, I pause things, I walk away, I go do other things. So see if you can commit to this fire of practice, to building this sense of accountability within ourselves. And when you feel yourself wander, draw yourself back lovingly in the way that you would want somebody to draw you back. When you're at work, when you're with your family, what are the ways you want to be drawn back? All right. Fill up big. Let go thoroughly. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then disconnect. So your shoulders are rising up towards the ceiling as well. And then as you exhale, drop the heads of your shoulders down and see if you can push your upper arm bones down towards the floor. Mine aren't going to quite make it right now. Inhale, reach up. So this is a protraction action. And then we're going to do the retraction action. One more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale, draw in. So this drawing in of the shoulder blades, we'll get a lot more of it tomorrow, but this is part of the spinal integration, is using the shoulder blades to push the rib cage in towards up towards the ceiling, to draw the spine into the body and the middle back. Open your arms wide and see if you can draw your shoulder blades towards each other. And you want to imagine that you're mushing the shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe you're going to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades. So really draw that space together. So this is part of that adduction of the shoulder blades. And then release and let things go soft. Inhale, reach out to the sides. And then exhale, pull the shoulder blades in towards each other, like you're going to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Hold that space a little bit. Just notice the lines of tension that exist in your neck and your back. And then release. Inhale. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, that adduction action, pulling the shoulder blades together as if you're going to hold that pencil. Squeeze, 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 and then release down. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of reaching overhead. So this is actually shoulder flexion, even though it feels like it's an extension. Shoulder flexion, overhead towards the floor. And then release your arms down by your hips. So we're going to inhale, sweep up, take a little shoulder flexion. Exhale and release down. One more. Inhale and sweep up. Exhale and release down. Nicely done. All right, come out into your little T space here. And we're going to roll over to the side. Press down into your floor, into your mat. Draw your knees towards you. And then press into your hands and lift up towards a seat. I'm going to shift my blankets around so that I can sit down on them. And let's move the spine. So we're going to move the spine in as many ways as we can think about, right? So let's start with a little side bending and just letting yourself move side to side. Nothing fancy, just a little side to side action. And maybe after you've gone a few times, the idea of reaching to the opposite side is going to feel good. Inhale, neutral, exhale, reach. Inhale, neutral, exhale, reach. Inhale, neutral, exhale, reach. Inhale, neutral, exhale, reach. Inhale, neutral. And let's do a little twist. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist right. And inhale, neutral. Last time to the left, this way. And inhale, neutral. Let's go forward and back. So go ahead, notice which way your legs are crossed and undo. Cross them the other way. And let's lean forward. So this is spinal flexion. And then lean back. Hands can go back behind you. Spinal extension. Walk forward, letting yourself have spinal flexion. And then walk your hands back and take spinal extension. Flexion. And extension, inhaling. And exhaling towards flexion. And inhaling towards extension. And then come upright. So one of the ways that we can really integrate the spine into the body is using the retraction action of the shoulder blades plus that adduction. So the shoulder blades look sort of like this. And they're going to draw, the heads of the shoulders draw back, which helps us get them onto the surface of the rib cage. And then we're going to squeeze them together, like we're going to bring them together, like we're going to hold that pencil between. And then we're going to push forward. So this is going to reduce the normal curve of the upper back, which is a convex curve, all right? So let's bring the hands back behind us and try that. With your hands just beyond your bottom here. Take the heads of your shoulders back, so that's that retraction. And then draw your shoulder blades towards each other, which is the adduction action. Then we're going to do some of the stuff we did yesterday, which is engaging the navel point and drawing the ribs back. Then we have this sense of sandwiching, right? So I'm using the force of my belly to bring my attention in towards my spine on one side, and I'm using the force of my shoulder blades to bring the spine in on the other side. So belly in, rib cage back, lift the chest. Whoo, and feel all that space in the sternum. Inhale, come upright. And then just wiggle around in it, right? So shimmy the shoulders, loop the chest, let yourself have some amorphous movement, go in the other way. And it doesn't matter, nobody's there to look at you. So do it however you want. You can be as dramatic as you want to be. Okay, tapping into that energy, yeah? All right, so the shoulder blades are gonna have a lot to do with this spinal integration. The other thing that we need to be aware of is that the hips and pelvis have a lot of ability to wiggle the spine as well. And we've been doing a little bit more of that earlier this week. So let's go ahead and do these the pelvic tilts, finding the action of the pelvis. So try to keep your shoulders fairly steady as you're letting your belly roll forward and roll back, and feel that action in the spine. So if we really roll back, right, this is going to push all of the vertebrae back behind us. And if we really, then that's going to push all of the vertebrae in front of us. And we want to find both of those actions. But you may experience some tension along the front of the body. You may be experiencing some tension along the sides. Let's go around in circles now and just see, do you get a little catch, catch, catch in any of your in either of your hips as you're going around in this circle? Go ahead and go the other way. So how the hips are set up, when the hips are level, they facilitate length in the spine. When the hips are sort of cocked, then there's a wiggle that happens in the spine. Even if I'm trying here, my hip is cocked, I've dropped my left hip down. You can see my right hip's coming up. Good thing I have contrasting colors on. And then I'm trying to bring my shoulders back, but you'll see there's still this curve in the right side of my body. So in order to fix that, I've got to bring the hip down to get equal length from hip to hip. So we're just gonna challenge that space now and let yourself move in to all of the places that could cock, right? And go the other way. So we're just acknowledging what are the two sort of forces. My friend who teaches anatomy for Western University of Health Sciences talks about the axial skeleton and the auxiliary skeleton. I think those are the two words he uses. But he talks about the center of the body, right? And then all of these other things. And the other things, that are limbs, have big impact on the length of the spine and what's happening in the spine, whether we're shifted a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. That can happen in the shoulders, that can happen in the hips a lot of the time. It's not usually, you know, just a little spot in the rib cage, although that happens too. Okay, so we're going to come on up to standing, and you can do that however that speaks to you. I'm going to make sure you can mostly see me. Mostly see me here. And let's step the feet wide, and we'll do some of that same motion, right? So we're checking out what are the forces on our spine from the lower body. Go ahead and go the other way. And there are a lot of them. There are so many different actions. Because the hips go around in circles, they have a lot of places where you can have a funny tight spot. It's both awesome and really frustrating at times. Okay, step your feet towards each other, and let's go ahead and move into some hip circles. So we're going to isolate no action on the left and lots of action on the right. Okay, so let's spread the left foot out, slurp that leg up, bring the right knee high, and let's take it out to the right and bring it back in towards us. And if you have your hands on your hips, you may feel that your right hand wants to drift back, see, with your right leg. See if you can keep your right shoulder pushing forward, your right buttock pushing forward as you're opening and closing that leg. Inhaling and exhaling. You'll go two more. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Go ahead and settle your right foot down. Spread that foot out. Float your left knee up. Check in, right? Maybe you don't have the mirror of your phone to check and see where your hips are at, but see if you can drop that left hip down. Make your right leg really firm and strong. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And you may notice that desire, right, to drift back. See if you can keep yourself really steady as you're opening out to the left and exhaling back. Opening out to the left and exhaling back. Opening out to the left and exhaling back. We got 2 more. Inhaling out, exhaling back. Inhaling out, exhaling back. Settle down. Now we're going to take the whole circumduction of that hip. So draw your right knee into your chest. Take it out. Then you're going to try to kick your foot towards your hip. As you take the knee back, slide it back, and then draw forward. Out to the right. Turn the inner thigh back and away. Draw forward. Lance wanted everybody to know that he understands that he is my control. He keeps me from going too crazy, and he apologizes for not being here to keep me in check. So I will work on keeping myself in check as we're working today. Remember, you can use your wall to hold on to. Okay, find your steady and move your feet down into the earth. Just feel that. Broaden your right foot to the floor. Bring your left knee up. Open out to the left. Kick yourself towards your buttock. You're going to move your inner groin back first. Take it back behind you and sweep it forward. Externally rotating, internally rotating, and then bringing it into flexion. External rotation, whole hip, internal rotation and hip extension. Yeah, you don't need that stuff, but that's the way I think about it. That's the way I'm processing all of this stuff for us. Move it back one more time, opening it up, moving it out, taking it back. This is my chattier side. It's got more to say about that internal rotation action. So you may notice one side goes, that's the sound that I hear. Okay, press down into your feet. And we're going to reverse the directions now. So left foot, weight over into the left foot. Bring your right knee up. And we're going to start with that slight internal rotation back. Pivot with the foot. External rotation and forward. Internal rotation back. Pivot. So we're going to that external rotation as we come forward. 3 more. Inhale, reaching back. Exhaling out to the side, coming forward. We got one final swoop. Yes! Set it down. Dig down through the earth. I'm going to step back so maybe you can see the top of my head. Not that that's important, you know. I'm getting mushed by the phone. That's good. Okay, keep me in check. All right. Left leg up. Internally rotate. Take it back. Now I know why I was doing that, because I can't move the foot back. And then take it out to the side and forward. Internally rotate on the way back. Externally rotate as you come forward. We got 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Settle it down. Now, part of the discernment that we work on in finding this space in the hips is feeling the pull of the thighs on the pelvis. And the thighs can either be really tight in the back. Let's think about that. If they're really tight in the back, then it draws the tailbone under and we sort of go this way, okay? If they're really tight in the front, then it draws the top of the pelvis down towards the thighs. And so we go into what feels more like a back bend here. So we're looking to create space here and space in the backs of the legs to make it so that we have this equal sense of support from the hamstrings and opening from the hip flexors, okay? So let's think about that in terms of going into a tree pose. So as I bring my right foot up, I'm bending my right knee. I'm going to think about the left leg. So the left leg is going to experience either the force of the tight hamstrings on the right side or the force of the tight hip flexors on, excuse me, this is the left side. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit into that left leg a little bit. Sit into it. Push your calf muscles forward. Draw your quads up and back. Move the inner groins back. We did that a lot. And then drip the tailbone down. So you're feeling this stretch on the front, stabilization on the back. Now turn your right knee out to the right and use your right buttock. Push it forward. So you're getting this movement of the buttock back towards your belly. Your belly scoots back in towards the buttock. And we think about this standing leg being really tall and working on this, having this neutral space, right, from the hip into the spinal information. Bring your right knee forward, settle the right foot on the floor. Shift a little bit. Yeah, y'all. Okay. Press the right foot down, bend into the knee. You can get soft on your left toes. Think about calf forward, quad back, inner groin back, and then take the tailbone down. So that's going to open the hip flexor space. Let the knee drift open to the left. As the knee drifts open, you turn on your left buttock. It's like you're nudging a child along, right? You know, sometimes we grab them by the back of the head, you're like, get moving in line, right? So you want to do that with your buttock. You want to just nudge your left hip forward with your buttock, as if it's gentle, but it's also firm. It's like we are going this way, yeah? So roll, yeah, and then notice what's happening on the right side. Did it bubble forward? Are you experiencing that tension in the back of your leg? See if you can lean forward, hook the tailbone down, lengthen out. Get all this length in the spine, okay? Turn the knee, settle the foot. We're going to go higher if your body can. Bend your right knee, open it out. Think about the standing leg. Unslouch, bum back, tailbone down. Use that right buttock. Calf and quad are in opposition on the left. Float your right leg higher. So your foot's going to come higher. This gives us more of that, you know, we want to sort of open with this knee. So you use your buttock to help counter the knee. The knee is stretching out to the side, but you're using your buttock to counter. Reach your arms wide. Bend your elbows a little bit. Scoot your elbows forward and draw your shoulder blades towards one another. And then do yesterday's work. Rib cage in, lift the center of your chest. Bring the knee forward, release your arms down, settle your foot to the floor. Bend your left knee. Think about what's happening on the right side, right? We're wanting to integrate, use the information of the leg to get length in the front of the hip, stabilization in the back of the thigh. Open your left knee out, slide your foot higher on your leg, on your calf, please, okay? Then notice, we could sort of find a spot where the bones catch each other and kind of hang out. But we want to challenge the muscles. So we're going to slurp the right hip in, push the left buttock forward, move the inner groins back, ribs back, open your arms out. Push the elbows forward to lift the center of your chest. So now we're doing both ends of the spine to get the spine to move into the body. Release your arms down, turn your left foot forward. Okay, step your feet wide. And think about that integration, right? So we're going to take those pelvic circles here. Integration. How are we moving the spine into the body? And why would that be interesting? Why is it useful for us to move the spine into the body? And a lot of that has to do because the spine wants to sort of poke out. It wants to go in the opposite, and it wants to move into its primary curve. And the primary curve, you think about a baby inside the uterus. That's the primary curve, where the spine is rounding. The head is towards the tailbone. So we're wanting to think about how do we maintain these curves of the spine? How do we move the spinal cord into the center of the body so we have clear communication from our brain out into our limbs? Okay? Turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee just a little bit and think about this back leg. Move the inner groin back. Take the tailbone down. Then straighten out your right leg. Lean off to the right. This may feel sufficient, right? We want to feel information in the legs. Keep the left leg really active. Keep it driving down so we've got this length on both sides of the spine. If you feel like, hey, I can keep length on both sides of my spine and go lower, then I invite you to try it. Inhale, come upright. Turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes out. Bend into your left knee a little bit. Move that right inner thigh back. So we're coming flush to the long edge of the mat. And we're thinking about this opening space. So it's my right hip is dropping back and down a little bit. And then the left hip, again, it's similar to when we were in tree pose, that this left buttock is pushing forward slightly. Reach the leg long. Let your left hand drift down your left thigh. A little bit. As long as you can keep the sides of your waist long. You know, we don't want to slump over. We want to think about this lengthening as if somebody were picking us up by our armpits. And then maybe there's a lower space to go. Maybe not today. Inhale, pull yourself upright. Turn your left toes forward. Let's go ahead, and we've done this before this week, but we're going to do it again, is take the it's not. It's the wrong Sanskrit. The Pasarita Padottanasana. So inner groins go back. We'll soften the knees. Lean forward. Bring your hands down to the floor or a chair or something where you can easily bring your hands down to. Palms go down on whatever you've chosen. And then notice if your back is curling, right? If we're in this convex moment, this is the primary curve of the spine. And this is where the spine wants to go. So let's check the two actors on the spine. The two actors on the spine, for the purpose of today's class, are the hips. So bend your knees, slip your bum up, go into the concave version. Exhale, round, go into the convex. Inhale, concave, you bend those knees. Exhale, convex, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, straighten the legs. Now, see if you can come to a neutral spine. So you're neither convex nor concave. You've got a little convexity in the upper back space and a little concavity in the low belly space, or the low back space. Draw your navel point in slightly, scoot your inner thighs back, draw your shoulder blades back, and then push them onto your rib cage. We're going to push the rib cage up into the shoulder blades a little bit so you feel that dynamic action. Then move the inner groins back. Draw a line from your tailbone going towards the wall behind you and the crown of the head going towards the wall in front of you. You may need to soften your knees. So we really want to think about being arrow-like through the length of the spine. Bend your knees. Inhale, come upright. And then we're going to go into it a second time, but let's take another standing pose before we go there. Turn your right toes out. As you do, that left hip's going to want to follow you. So let's bend into the right knee. Draw the left hip back. And as we do that, we think about making an even space, right? That we're not jutting one way or the other, that we're coming open. I find that often challenges the action of the knee. So I'll show you that. The knee often sort of wants to go in the direction of the navel. So I'm going to open my knee out. Then we wake up the right buttock again. Move that right buttock forward. So it's this push forward. Again, it's that gentle nudge. Come on, we're going this way. use your belly to counter that. So the buttocks are going this way, the belly's going in opposite. Use the inner thigh with the belly, and then the calf with the buttocks. So the calf and buttock are going this way, the thigh, inner thighs and belly are going back. Now we're going to take that side angle pose. Yes, side angle pose, Parsva Konasana. So hands to thigh as you lean. Maybe this is enough. Or maybe you come down to your elbow. Hug things together. Notice if your spine is beginning to rainbow. We want to think about the spine being long on both sides. So you may have to wake your back leg up. You may have to reopen your right leg. We're going to hang out for 3 more breaths. Inhale, come upright. Turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes out. It's a lot of this. I've been noticing how much of this we do. Then feel that right hip, right? The right hip's like, oh, I like short edges. It wants to go towards the short edge. We're going to say, no, my friend, pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. And then you feel the oppositional force, right? The knee wants to come forward. So as the hip goes back, that left knee wants to come forward. So you're going to work both to the extent of your ability to draw right hip back, left knee open, and then we're going to counter with that left buttock. The left buttock is swooping forward. The right inner thigh is moving back. The right calf is swooping forward. So we have these oppositional forces to help us keep the belly goes back, buttock goes forward. Belly back, buttock forward, inner thigh forward, back, back, calf forward. And then left hand to left thigh or left elbow to left thigh. Notice the moment when things start to round. We're not looking for a rounded shape. We're looking for a straight spine. There's that, think about being a leaning spear from your right heel through the crown of your head. Inhale, come upright, turn, left toes forward, and we're going to go back into that wide leg forward fold, Pasarita Padottanasana. I was joking with my friend this morning. She teaches the classes for the Claremont colleges, and she was saying, somebody said, well, so what do you give them? This is their final week of classes, and then they're into finals. And somebody said, what do you give them for their final? And I said, well, you should teach the class only in Sanskrit, no modeling. Just, everybody now, Pasarita Padottanasana. Bend your knees to come in. Bring your hands towards the floor, right under your shoulders. And then we're going to go to the place in your body that works for your legs so that your hips aren't shifting. So maybe you come all the way straight. Maybe you keep your knees bent. Do work your inner groins back. Do lift your low belly up. Now we're going to think mostly about the upper spine. So the hands are going to be pulling down. I was talking about this yesterday. That it's like you're pushing into the floor and then dragging the floor, like you could curl the rug under you. Draw the shoulders back. Push the center of the sternum forward. Lift those low ribs. And then let's work that cat-cow-like action mostly in the chest. So draw the shoulder blades together. Lift the chest. Maybe you lift your gaze. Exhale and round the upper back space. So you're pushing, you're protracting now. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back, retraction, and then adduction as you lift your chest. And then round it. Oh yeah, dangle your head. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Push the chest forward, lift, maybe your gaze. Exhale, round it up. Oh, I love this. And one more, inhale and exhale. Find neutral. So oftentimes the desire is to round or drop in some place. So to find your neutral, you may need to bend your knees. Move those inner groins back. Draw the heads of the shoulders back. Lift the low ribs. Press out through tailbone and crown of the head. Bring your left hand to the floor underneath your heart. So it's on the floor, Arm is straight, right hand to your pelvis. Roll your right shoulder back. And then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other and push the chest forward to the right as we rotate open to the right, turning, twisting. Come neutral. Bring your right hand to the floor underneath your heart. Draw that right shoulder blade on your back. Check in. Make sure your ribs haven't dropped. Bring those ribs up. Push the inner groins back. Left hand on your low back. Roll the shoulders. We're going to use the shoulder blades to move the spine into the body. Use the belly to keep it there. And then rotate within that space. Really do that depression, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, retraction, and then adduction. And we'll have more of that tomorrow. Don't worry about it. So if you're like, I don't know, she's using these words, and it's not making sense, just let it go, right? Not worth it. Come out of your twist, dangle your head, shake a little, no, and nod, yes. Let something go. Preferably your knee to be perfect. Ha! Right? I keep working on letting that one go. It's a good practice. Bring your feet back together. It's interesting that the push-pull that happens in life, right? That's I wish to be calm and centered, and in order to be calm and centered, I have to be disciplined, and in order to be disciplined, I have to be rigid, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, but in order to be calm and centered, I have to be flexible. So, it's a game I play. Probably you're in it too. Okay, maybe. Let's talk a little bit about the shoulder movement as we go towards eagle arms, okay? So inhale, open your elbows. Exhale, and bring them as close as they get. Inhale, open your elbows. Exhale, bring them in as close as they get. Inhale, open your elbows. Exhale, bring them in as close as they get. And this time we'll open up the elbows. Push the thumbs back. Draw the elbows back. Feel the shoulder blades go together like you could hold that pencil there. And then we're going to bring the right arm around underneath the left. Pull the left arm across the body, or do the little wrappy thing, you know. Any number of versions here will work. Lift the elbows up slightly, shrug the shoulders down. So the elbows up is a shoulder extension. Shoulder blades down is depression. Broaden the collarbones. That's a little adduction. The shoulder blades are gliding towards each other. Release. Open out. Bring the elbows together. Inhale wide. Exhale together. Inhale wide. Exhale together. Inhale wide. And then we'll exhale. Left arm is going to come under the right. It's either going to pull it across the body, or you'll do some sort of wrappy thing or backs of hands, okay? Elbows are going to drift up. So there's shoulder extension a little bit. Heads of the shoulders are going to go down. Depression of the scapulas. Draw the rib cage back. Lift the center of the chest. Broaden the collarbone. Release your hands. Open out. It is already 11:45. I cannot believe it. Okay. We're going to come over onto the back. We're going to do a few back bends on the back, and then we'll roll over onto the belly, and we'll do a few things on the belly, thinking about those actions, how we're moving the spine into the body. So let's come down onto your back. Oh, goodness, right? Anytime we go into the back in class, I'm like, and now maybe we just hang out here. Okay. So let's feel again that intimate relationship between what's happening in the hips and what's happening in the spine. So we've done a lot of pelvic tilts this week. We're going to go right back into it. I'm going to scoot so you can actually see my face. How about that? Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the headless Sarah is better. Okay. So here, the belly's rising up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to drop the top of my pelvis down and lift my tail up. Inhale, drop the tailbone down. Let the top of the pelvis rise. And feel that, right? So one way feels like we're pushing the spine towards the floor. And the other feels like we're moving the spine into the body. And we're going to try to do that, move the spine into the body thing, while we're keeping openness across the front of the hips. It's a trick, but it's a good one. Bring your elbows by your sides, and we're going to set the shoulders this way. Bring the heads of the shoulders down. And you saw that I pushed into my elbows and I lifted my chest up and pushed the upper arm bones down. Then I'm going to lengthen my tailbone into towards my heels. So that gives me fairly flush to the floor. As I lift up, I'm thinking, keep this length, keep this sense of moving the spine into the body as I stretch across the belly space. Inhale. Exhale, stay down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Okay, we're going to go back to something we did, I think, on Monday. Draw your feet towards one another. So you have a narrower base, but we can move with one leg. Bring your right ankle across your left thigh. And then as I do that, my hips they're like, oh, please, let's just roll to the right. So I go, okay, that's what my body wants to do. I'm going to have to counter it a little bit. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more persistent with this drop of the left hip towards the floor as I reach the right knee away. Okay, we're looking for this openness across the front of the lap as we inhale and lift up. Reach that right knee away. Notice the right hip now wants to fall, right? So think about, there's your little nudge with your right buttock up towards the ceiling. Reach the knee away, nudge the buttock, draw the belly in, and then lower that space down. So good. Release the right foot to the floor. Make sure you have a narrow enough base so that you don't fall over. That doesn't seem counterintuitive, but so you can take your left foot off. Bring your left ankle over your right thigh and feel that natural inclination, right? If we let go of things, the right buttock lifts up, the spine sort of moves towards the left. So I want to think about dropping right side of the rib cage down, right hip down, and then opening the left knee. So we have good grounding principles on the right side of the body. Elbows press in, get those shoulder blades onto the back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and release down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and release down. Inhale and lift up. Stay up. Reach your left knee away from you. Notice that the left hip now wants to drop. Use that cupping action that we did earlier. Push the buttock up towards the ceiling. Reach out through both knees. Breathe. Slowly lower down. So good. Undo. Pause. And maybe you want to take a few pelvic circles. In Feldenkrais, they call these pelvic clocks, and they make you do them excruciatingly slowly, where you're rolling around right hip, belly button, left hip, tailbone. But it really invites you into the subtle forces that are occurring on your legs, your hips, and your spine. It's amazing. When you have patience to do the work, it's super amazing. the things you can discover, the magic of your own body. Okay. All right, let's go. And this time we're going to see if we can bring that knee, so we'll be crossed over, we'll lift up, and we're going to see if we can bring the knee into the chest and maybe extend it towards the ceiling. You may decide that's too much. You may just bring the knee into the chest, or you may float it straight up, okay? So you know now where we're going. Elbows on the earth, heads of the shoulders down. Inhale, lift the hips up. And on this one, I'm going to interlace my fingers. And I'm going to take, because we're going to do the right leg, I'm going to take the right thumb over the left. That may not work for your body. You may need to stay in cactus arms, okay? It helps if you're doing the interlace to narrow your elbows. Now, bring your right ankle over your left thigh. Find that evenness out, right? Reach away. Right knee into the chest. Reach the right leg up towards the sky. Notice that right hip wants to come up. Drop it down. Push it away from you. Release your right leg down. Undo your hands. Lower your bottom towards the earth. Take a pause. Maybe you fling your arms up. I don't know how you guys are doing with this heat, but heat makes me crouchy. I'm working on controlling that because I know that there's a lot of effect that my emotional life has. So I'm just taking breaks and making sure I read lots of ridiculous literature. It's been fun. Okay, bring the feet in towards the bottom. Take the tailbone through. Press your elbows through your shoulders down. Inhale, lift up. Interlace. This time let's go left thumb over right. Walk your shoulders under you. Extend those arms away, maybe. And then we're going to cross left ankle over right thigh. Reach the left knee away. And breathe. And then see, can you pull it in towards your chest without dropping the hip and extend up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, lower the foot to the floor. Maybe you broaden your feet out, release your hands, lower down. Aerate your armpits. It was funny yesterday, our dog was asleep. It was hot. And he was asleep with his paws out ahead of his nose. It looks so cute. It's like when little babies are tired, right? And they are hot. And they fling their arms up. You find them with their arms over their heads. Okay, rock a little. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Oh, good. We still have time. Yippee. I'm going to roll over onto the belly. So we did a lot of, if you were with me yesterday, we did a lot of Sphinx pose yesterday. And we're going to start in this space because I want you to remember that sense of spine, of belly integration, rib integration, and then the use of the shoulder blades to draw that spine in, okay? So it's between the action of the belly moving in, the rib cage moving back, and then the shoulder blades coming together and pushing forward that gives us this length and energizing for the heart. But we don't want to, if we don't do those engagements, then we're kind of just flopping things forward. And that doesn't give us the emotional, the energetic integration. It doesn't open things out, okay? So that's the why. I like whys. Elbows on the floor underneath your shoulders, okay? And you may want to narrow your base a little bit. That's okay. Notice that the heads and the shoulders come up. This is elevation. We want to depress and retract. So that's this move the shoulders back is that retraction. And then there's the depression, okay? So let's do that. Slide down. Let the elevation happen. Draw your belly button in. Depress, retract, and then keep the ribs moving back. Lift the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, push down. Maybe you lift your belly off the earth. Inhale. chest forward. Exhale, lift the low ribs. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, lift the low ribs. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, lift the low ribs. And then release down. Whoo, and pause. Notice if you got warm up. All right, on Monday we started with the legs, and I want you to think about your legs and your feet now. So you're gonna reach the legs back behind you, even though you can't see my legs. I'm reaching them back, I'm lifting them up and reaching them back. Remember in class we talk about pushing the elevator button. That's an interesting fact about the Claremont Club when we open up. The elevator will be for one individual or one family group at a time. Social distancing, man. Until we have some sort of vaccine, some sort of guarantee that we're not spreading things around. Okay, fingertips are going to go under your shoulders. Palms are going to go back by your ribs. Do a little bit of that elevation. Actually, let's see. This is retraction and depression of the shoulder blades. Draw your navel point in. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Little baby cobra. Exhale, release down. Bhujangasana. Retract, depress, lift the navel, lift your head and shoulder. Exhale, release. Retract, depress, retract, depress, and abduct. Lift your head and shoulders. Maybe you come higher. You're pushing your hands. You drag your palms back. And then you got to add that belly button. So you're getting a big stretch across the front of your chest. Lower the shoulders out of your ears. Bhujangasana. Exhale, release down, pause. We're going to take 2 more Bhujangasanas, but I want you to not worry about it. And I want you to bend your knees and let your feet go side to side. Bhujangasana is such a good pose. A good cobra pose can really just make you feel like you opened up your heart to the world. But we still want to have, as we're opening up our hearts to the world, we still want to have that integration of our spine, right? We don't want to just shove ourselves into the world without protection. Just like with our kids, we don't pop them out of our bodies and say, all right, here you go. You're on your own. We give them a lot of love. We give them a lot of attention. We put them through school. We give them all kinds of tools before we send them out. And the same is true for your heart. You want to give it this lift. First start by walking your feet back. Walk your feet back. Press the tops of your feet down. Integrate your tailbone towards the earth, low belly in, navel point in. Ribs move back. So all of this is to protect the heart. Hands by your ribs. Draw the heads of the shoulders away from the floor. Slide them down towards your heels. Move the low ribs up. Inhale. Lift your chest. Lift your face. I guess it is. Oh my God, huh? And then notice, a lot of us do this shoulder shrug, right? So you want to think, depression, adduction, push forward as you're moving those low ribs back. So you're drawing the chest open, integrating the spine. Exhale down, integrating that middle back into the center of the body. We're using all of those oppositional forces. Pause, rest. We got 1 more to go. Hands beside your ribs. Lift the heads of the shoulders up. Slop them down. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. But counter it with your legs, with your navel, with your ribs. Inhale, lift up. Shine your heart forward as you draw those ribs back. So you're really creating that opposition. Maybe your gaze goes up towards the corner of your room. Exhale, release down. So good, you guys. Okay, let's roll around onto our backs and do some releasing. Right knee into the chest. Grab, wiggle, jiggle your leg. Just jiggle your leg. It's nice to have legs. Jiggle it around. Extend the left leg away and still jiggle the right. So you may notice now that the pelvis is starting to do that tilting thing. That tilting thing, oh my gosh. So let's see if we can even the spaces out. I'm going to draw, just like we draw our shoulder blades under us, I'm going to draw my outer right hip away, outer left hip away, extend through the left leg. I'm pushing down into the floor with my left heel. Calf is going towards the sky, quad is going down. So I'm getting that length across the front of the lap. Then hands back behind the right thigh and extend the right foot towards the ceiling. Settle your shoulders towards the floor and see if you can enjoy. There's a lot of action in the legs, but see if you can feel the breath swim into your chest and swim out again. Swim into your chest and swim out again. Swim into your chest and swim out again. Plant your left hand on your left thigh to keep it down. Open your right leg out to the right. And maybe you make a kickstand with your right elbow and just rest your hand in your leg there, your leg on your hand. You could take your elbow out further and let your leg go lower. But we want to have this firm foundation, right? Always thinking about where are we grounding our bodies. Always thinking about where are we elevating and opening. Always, so many things. Okay, pull the knee, bend your knee, pull it across your body. Look off to the right. Take the twist in the spine. That one feels good too. All these good things to do. Relax your right foot to the floor. Bring your left foot in. Draw your left knee in and start to jiggle. And just feel as you jiggle, right? The pelvis rocks. That's awesome. The pelvis is connected to the legs. The pelvis is connected to the spine. So anything we're doing with our legs reverberates up through our spine. I know it feels so like, well, of course, Sarah. But also, we forget. Extend your legs away. Press your right heel down. Draw your quad down. Extend your outer hips. Think about that rolling under, right? Just like we roll the shoulder blades under, you can kind of walk your pelvis away. So you get the top of the pelvis down. Move the low ribs down. Hands go behind your left leg. Extend towards the ceiling. And if you need to do a little bend and extend business, do that. So you can get the heads of your shoulders to go down towards the floor. And then relax your face. Relax your throat. Right hand is going to settle the right thigh down and let the left leg, I'm going to run into my closet here, but let your left leg open out to the left. Swoop that outer left hip away from you, huh? Move your inner right thigh down towards the earth. So we're opening across the front of the pelvis, drawing the ribs down. You can open your right arm out. And then bend your left knee. Draw your left knee across your body with your right hand. Ah, feels so good. In my body, I should say. I fully realize, as I've been working with Carrie Ann and Lance, and when I work with you guys, the things that feel so good in my body don't always feel so good in everybody's bodies. So as you're practicing, making sure that you're touching those things that feel so good. So you remember that joy of having a body. Okay, draw up. I've got the wall right here. I'm going to swing my legs up the wall. You can put your legs on a chair. You can extend your legs flat, all right? But I'm going to swing around. And we are to the fabulous Shavasana portion of today. So I've got this knot in my shirt that I'm going to take out. All right, legs up the wall. Take your moment to draw your toes back towards your face. Even out how the legs are touching the wall, and then let it go. Arms can be by your sides. Arms can be out in a T. Arms can be flung overhead. Aerate your armpits. Let your breath move in and out of your body. And take yourself on a mental vacation. Go somewhere that you just love to be. Whether it's Hawaii or your own backyard, Yosemite, Whistler, the Swiss Alps, a temple in India. Take yourself somewhere beautiful, like the cherry blossoms in Japan. Feel the air in your place of great natural beauty. When things are fabulously in accord, the communication from one kind of life to the other is just open and present. Put yourself in that space. Notice the environmental sounds around you. Notice whether they pull you towards your happy place or drag you away from it. And feel your ability to have the fire, to stay connected. Staying connected to this place of extreme natural beauty, where your body communicates freely with the earth, and the earth communicates freely back. One of those places where we both feel larger than life and so incredibly insignificant. Start to bring yourself back, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toe. Move around in your body. Draw your knees into your chest. Roll to whichever side doesn't have an obstruction. push into the earth. And lift yourself up to a seat. So we're practicing Kirtan Kriya this week, which is a Kundalini meditation. And it involves mudra, hand positioning, and mantra words. So the words are sa, ta, na, ma. And as you say them, you touch index finger sa, middle finger na, sa, ta, middle finger ta, ring finger na, pinky finger ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. That's the rhythm. And then those words mean infinity, life, death, rebirth. They were in this infinite loop of life, infinite loop of life, death, and rebirth. And it's going on in our cells, it's going on in the world around us, it goes on in the seasons, it goes on in the scope of our own life too, that everything is this cycle. So, hands rest on your thighs, press your bottom down, lift the center of your chest up. The first 10 times is auditory, second 10 times is whispered, third and fourth 10 times are silent, then the fifth time is back to whispering, and the sixth time is back to auditory. Empty. Inhale. Sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, ta, na, ma. Silent. Sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, Satanama, 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 Satanama. Satanama, Satanama. Bring your hands to your heart space. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale, bow your head. Feel the energetic space around you. Inhale. Exhale out of your energetic space, any negativity, anything you don't want to carry into today, anything that's not serving you. Inhale something fresh and new. Push that negative out of your bubble. Draw in something new. Push the negative out of your bubble. Draw in something new. Seal in the new. Bow your head. The light within me honors and celebrates that very same light in each and every one of you. May your light carry you onward into your day and out into the weekend. Thank you for your practice. Thank you all for coming to your mats, for working so well on that integration of the spine and really taking care of your bodies today. Have a really beautiful day. Bye.